Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that nothing external, no promotion, no apology, no perfect body, no partner's praise will ever outrank the relationship you have with the person in the mirror. Self-love isn't a finish line reward for finally being perfect. It's moment-to-moment decision to stop ditching yourself when life, people, or your own inner critic get loud. If that sounds radical, good, because radical self-acceptance is the medicine today's hustle culture doesn't want you to have. Stay with me, because after this episode, choosing you will be the only option that makes sense. Welcome to Spark and Hustle. I'm your host, Puneet, and we need to talk about our theme today, right? It springs from a truth bomb that I heard by Dr. Nate Fulton. It says, self-love isn't a reward for being perfect. It's a decision to stop abandoning yourself. The moment you stop outsourcing validation and start showing up for you, everything shifts. In this episode, we're going to dissect that shift, give it some muscle, and turn it into your daily practice. Raise your hand if you've ever said, I'll be confident when, followed by some future milestone, which could sound like quitting sugar, losing 10 pounds, hitting 7 figures, keeping your house Pinterest perfect. Perfectionism is a sneaky form of self-abandonment because it postpones love until a hypothetical future. Even when you hit the goalpost, the bar moves. Research check. Brené Brown's studies show that perfectionism isn't self-improvement. It's a shield for shame. That antidote isn't lowering the bar, it's dropping the armor. Here's a real-life snapshot. I once worked for a company in a senior leadership position and still believed that it wasn't enough. No award made me feel safe. It wasn't until I practiced speaking kindly to myself out loud in the bathroom mirror between meetings that knots in my chest began to loosen. So self-abandonment is any moment you override your needs to keep the pace, earn a gold star, or avoid discomfort. It's eating the soggy leftovers so your partner can have the good plate, laughing at a joke that hurts you, or scrolling past bedtime because silence feels scarier than exhaustion. Psychology 101. Repeated self-betrayal triggers cortisol spikes that your body learns to normalize. You become adrenaline addicted and rest intolerant. Over time, that erosion shows up as burnout, mood swings, or the 3 a.m. dread. Personal confession, I used to pride myself on never missing a client email, but every time I answered at midnight, I sent myself an uglier memo. Your rest matters less than being liked. No wonder my creativity tanked the day I set a no reply after a certain PM boundary. We didn't lose clients, we gained respect. Turns out, clients mirror the value you place on yourself. Validation outsourcing is like leasing a luxury car whose payments never end. The thrill wears off quickly, but the cost, the time, mental bandwidth, emotional volatility stays high. Symptoms, you're leasing validation. Obsessive refresh of likes and views. Spiraling when someone delays texting back. Saying yes with your mouth while your gut screams, run. Here's a mindset pivot we can make. Validation is data, not oxygen. Give yourself the permission to use feedback as GPS. Helpful directions, not a referendum on your worth. My favorite GOAT of all times, Kobe Bryant. Here's an example from him. Late in his career, he famously said, I have nothing left to prove, only things left to do. He'd internalized his own approval, which freed him to innovate, like learning footwork from soccer players, without waiting for pundit applause. Here's 5 practices that will help you show up for you. Morning non-negotiable, 5 minutes. If you know me, you know nothing here is going to be recommended for hours and hours. 5 minutes before you touch your phone, place your hand over your heart and ask, how can I honor myself today? Journal the first sentence that arrives, then actually schedule it. Micro boundary rehearsals. Pick one low-stakes situation, a coffee order, a meeting agenda, and practice stating a preference without apology. The reps train your nervous system for bigger boundaries. Validation detox. Go 24 hours without checking social stats or your email. Replace each urge with a self-celebration sticky note. Watch how quickly your brain rewires to seek internal cues. Inner child check-ins. Set 3 alarms, mid-morning, afternoon, evening. At each ding, close your eyes and picture younger you asking, are we okay? Answer aloud. If the answer is no, pause and regulate. It's the deep breaths. I have a whole episode on that. Stretching, drinking water, something as simple as that before resuming work. Weekly self-date. Allocate 2 hours for an activity that makes you lose track of time. Solo brunch, art class, walking by the ocean, or just walking in your neighborhood. No multitasking. Rewiring requires experiential proof that you're worth undivided attention. A fun story. Meet Lena, a 32-year-old product manager who felt invisible in her own life. When her fiancé mocked her startup idea, she shelved it. When her team took credit for her work, she laughed it off. Her breaking point arrived during a routine sprint review when a junior development person interrupted her for the 3rd time. Instead of shrinking, she said, hold on, I wasn't finished. The room froze, then listened. The one sentence kick-started a domino effect. Lena revived her startup concept, booked a co-working desk, and dumped the apologetic fiancé. 12 months later, she has seed funding, healthier gut, and a Sunday ritual of hike alone. Why? Because she's learned that solitude is not punishment. It's proof of self-trust. Here's a book reco, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It by Kamal, Ravikant. When I read this book, it just was a weird time in my life, and it sounded super out there for me, for somebody who's super practical and all that fun stuff. But I stuck to it and I read through it because it showed up as a suggestion in my library. And it was this concise, no fluff manual on turning self-love from a meme into a mental discipline. Ravikant's 4-step process, which includes meditation, affirmation, visualization, and living the mantra, aligns perfectly with today's framework. So give it a try and stick with it. Self-love is a practice, not a personality trait. Start with one micro boundary today and tag Spark and Hustle to let me know what's shifted. In this episode, we hit a lot of points, but if anything hit home in this episode, rate the show and share it with the friend who's always putting herself or himself last. Until next time, stay bold, stay soft, and keep going.